Making Tracks is brought to you with assistance from our mates at STA Travel. Thank you! All my life I've been obsessed with music. And by the time I was a teenager, I realised I was surrounded by some of the world's greatest musicians right here in my own backyard. We all know our musicians are brilliant, but most of the world doesn't get a chance to hear them. So I'm on a mission to promote our music to the world and uncover the world's music along the way. From taking over a radio station to covers of seminal New Zealand tracks performed by some of the world's most influential artists. This show aims to take New Zealand music to the world and bring the world's music back to New Zealand. My next destination, South Africa, and the cities of Cape Town, Johannesburg and Pretoria. South Africa is a nation that's gone through immense social and political change over the last 2 decades, and it's still struggling to find its identity in a post-apartheid world. Through the turbulent times, music has played an important role, giving strength to the people of South Africa through the struggle. And 15 years after the end of apartheid, this nation is still producing some of the most vibrant music on this great continent. I'm here exchanging South Africa's stories for New Zealand's music, and once again seeing what a couple of Kiwi anthems sound like played by local artists. I'm offering the Nathan Haynes jazz classic Lady J.
I clouded in design, now I'm blind. Lady J, one of a kind.
Damn Native's timeless Behold My Cool Style.
Behold my cool style while I beat the funk with my mom.
The incredible, lyrical, and original.
And Pluto's epic dance stamina. First stop is the city of Johannesburg, a city with a reputation as being one of the most violent in the world. And I gotta say, it's a pretty intimidating place, and a place where I'll be spending the majority of my time here in South Africa. Johannesburg is the largest city in this country, and needless to say, it's where you'll find most of the nation's music industry. My first point of contact here is a young man that certainly knows the industry well, Kabila Nakane, or as millions of TV viewers around Africa know him, Channel O's top VJ KB. A young man who works hard to stay on top of this fast-paced city.
Joburg is the hustle, you know what I mean?
Hustle, grind.
Exactly. Some of us here are trying to do 3-4 jobs. I do like about 4 to 5 jobs at a time to just try and survive, to have a nice place to live in.
But I mean, what excites you about Joburg? You know, what does K Bello love about his city, man?
The vibe, the people, the excitement of having first world luxuries in what is considered to be a third world country. That's exactly what Joburg is.
What better way to start this African adventure than to get some hot Kiwi beats out there? And so KB and I are heading to Channel O, where he hosts his daily show, Obama.
It's the flagship show on Channel O. 2 hours live show, Monday to Friday, 3 to 5 in the afternoon. Interactive, SMS, to camera. We get people calling in, we do interviews on there, play music videos. We're gonna be live on one of these and everybody in Africa will be seeing us.
The infamous, the great, Africa's favorite. It is DJ Waxy straight out of Nigeria, but living in South Africa now a couple of years, and therefore he could be South African Nigerian. Yeah. This is DJ Waxy,
all the way from
alongside the man them called KB, that don't know.
KB and Nick, you on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, live.
Welcome to it. It's Obama Mondays. You know, KB hangs out with you. DJ Waxy's got some crazy videos. Yo, man, we've got a crew from New Zealand that just came through to come and check out what's happening out in South Africa. Yo.
You guys are from C4?
C4 New Zealand.
Okay, C4 New Zealand. We're hanging out with them.
Yo, if you've got questions for them, SMS them. Check it out. We've got a music video straight out of New Zealand.
This is probably one of the #1 hip-hop artists in New Zealand. His name is Scribe, and this video is fresh. With the push of a button, Scribe was being beamed to 22 different African nations. And it seems that Africa's feeling it.
My shit is fresh like F-R-E-S-H. Fresh. My shit is fresh like.
Yeah, Scribe. Son, Scribe, you sick for this. You are definitely F-R-E-S-H.
We can play another New Zealand track in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
That first one was good. We hope this one is not gonna just drop in the standard, my man.
No way, man.
What is
Would
it?
I let you down?
Anybody who's a Dirty South fan, this is just down the lane.
Yeah. This is some dirty South, you know? We're talking about dirty South Pacific.
New Zealand music, I want to see more. I've got your videos. These cats hook me up. The rest of Africa is going to know about the music from New Zealand. Thank you. We've started a relationship now. We've got to get more music out here, and we're going to be passing through music from all over Africa. This means a lot.
To better understand South Africa, I'm heading to Mamelodi, one of Johannesburg's many townships. Townships are settlements at the edge of the city that were reserved for non-whites during apartheid. Despite the harsh conditions, some of the most beautiful music has come out of these areas. And one voice that has touched the world is that of Vusi Malasela.
Here's the people's music, but the people's culture, and I'll be the one who will climb up on the mountain.
Vusi.
Hey, man.
Pleasure to finally see you. Oh, the dog is
I knows
alive.
it.
Really good, man.
Yeah, that's Snowy.
Snowy, get it, Snowy.
He's saying welcome.
Vusi, I can't wait to see a little bit more of Mamelodi, so I think I should take this opportunity to go for a bit of a wander, should we?
Please.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Then show me around, man. During apartheid, Vusi's lyrics and natural gift for song became a powerful force, uplifting black South Africans.
I used to perform quite a lot on political platforms, and through music, when I was performing at political gatherings, rallies, and everything, and people loved the message that I was bringing forth, and that gave me more wings, to carry on with what I was doing, especially when they confiscated my writings, and I said it means what I'm doing is right. They don't want the world to know about it, and I'll keep on doing it.
Vusi's resistance saw him and his peers under constant police harassment. His determination to give the people his music even saw him spending some very lonely nights locked up behind bars. So, Vusi, how long were you in solitary confinement for?
Yeah, almost close to three weeks. And of course, after that, they try also to bribe you in some way, showing that we can give you this if you give us names of people who are doing this and this and this. But one that the spirit was very strong, at the time, knowing what was really happening.
Vusi was freed after 3 weeks, but it wasn't until the early 90s that South Africa was freed from apartheid. And on the 10th of May 1994, Nelson Mandela became the nation's first black president. So fast forward, a few years, Vusi, and you're performing at Nelson Mandela's inauguration. I mean, tell me what your emotions are like. I mean, just how incredible was this day?
That day, man, it was very emotional, and there was a lot of tears of joys coming. It was rainbow, it was all colors, and people were embracing each other. It was a lot of hugs. It was really great. It was almost like knocking at the heavens.
Great. Speaking of the heavens, should we get back inside and hear some music?
Very much so.
Great.
He's really been so strong and musically inclined. His sad melodies coming out like a smoke from the woody fire. Confessing.
South Africans, we wear forgiveness like a crown. We have learned that, there is wisdom in forgiveness. If you learn to forgive, you learn more to release more calmness within the innermost of yourself, and you become more free.
Skeleton confessing the lost of music, culture, and belief. Skeleton confessing the age of lamentations, the age of broken minds and souls.
What inspires me to, write, music or anything that can come by, in the right time? I think I've realized that there is a spirit that enables me to create, this music. Though I don't know the name of this spirit, but I'm thanking it every day. That was the outro.
After the break, I head to South Africa's most infamous township, Soweto, to hear a classical rendition of Nathan Haynes' jazz classic, Lady J, and a South African reggae group whose biggest hit is an ode to New Zealand. I'm in Johannesburg, South Africa, taking in the richness of this nation's music culture and seeing what happens when New Zealand music falls into the hands of South African artists. I'm heading to the township of Soweto, armed with the first of my Kiwi tracks, Nathan Haynes' jazz classic, Lady J. It's going to be transformed by a youth orchestra in a part of the city whose reputation precedes itself. The reality is, Soweto is in fact one of the most dangerous places in all of South Africa, with the crime levels out of control, the drug use out of control, and the HIV and AIDS rates out of control. But there is this little foundation that's been set up called Buscade, which is giving young kids a bit of a chance in life and a very good opportunity, headed by a Kiwi woman named Rosemary Naldine. Rosemary is a professional viola player and teacher who moved from New Zealand to London at the end of the 60s. It was there, nearly 3 decades later, that the seeds of Buscade were sown.
I was listening to the radio in London one morning and I heard the sound of an orchestra. What it was a string project in a part of Soweto called Deep Kloof that I'd never heard of in my life before, and a group of us sort of had a little chat about it and thought, well, we'll see if we can contribute some music or strings or, you know, a few quid or something.
Quickly, the project grew far beyond Rosemary's expectations. She first came to Soweto to deliver donations and then to start her own project, Buscade, which encourages a style of music you wouldn't think you'd hear in the townships of Johannesburg.
Well, at first I find classic really boring, classical music really boring. All I could hear was strings, noise, and I couldn't get actually what's happening. Since I've been playing the violin, I can see it's nice actually. It's a different atmosphere. You get to experience things that you've never even thought you would get to know.
Buscade and projects like this is an environment where they can come. It's a place where they can come not only to play music, but just to be here and to have a family.
I don't know, maybe it's a music thing, you just click. Yeah, you know, it ranges from maybe 6 years to about 25, 26 years of age. Yeah.
And obviously, through your passion for playing the violin, you've been playing all over the world now, KB.
Yeah, I've been to many countries around the world. I must say my favorite was New Zealand, because of the...
Boy. 100 rands coming in the mail.
For a number of these youngsters, and particularly some of the boys, I've heard some of them say that they might be dead if it weren't for Buscade.
One example is Simiso, a troubled yet talented youth who found his calling through Buscade. What is the feeling for you when you're playing music?
I'm a magician for a violin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if I find myself, you know, down, just, you know, I just fell, you know. And I just use the skill of picking up myself by being thoughtless of bad things that occur in my mind.
Simiso had been handpicked from Buscade to take on my project, which is to write a new string arrangement for Nathan Haynes' Lady J, a 90s jazz hip-hop classic that features the vocal talents of a very young Dehamo.
I clouded in design, now I'm blind. Lady J, one of a kind.
I was asked to do an arrangement for Lady J, and Rosemary just gave it to me.
Simiso sort of said, well, you know, not quite so sure about this, and I said, come on, Simiso, I'm sure you can do this.
Because of my busy schedule and everything, it was probably 5 days to work on it.
It was a process of experimentation. They had to build that up, and that's what they did.
Of inklings and ideas, the ultimate expression is love. Freedom finds a friend in me, interpreting brain waves to shores, always and forever in love, above for the past dreams to pens and on to reams of manuscript. As I flipped through you and came away, your recollections of watching your fame as we flew mental experts away. Say, do you recall how tall I stood when it was understandable that I clouded in desire? Now I'm blind, Lady J, one of a kind.
You know, the music that Nathan Haynes is playing is beautiful, I must say. And playing it, it's just good. It's a beautiful song.
I'm back on the road, taking a drive out of Johannesburg to South Africa's capital, Pretoria. I'm due to meet one of this nation's best-loved reggae acts, Tidal Waves. Growing up during apartheid, these guys found inspiration and message in Jamaican music and became reggae musicians.
The Jamaicans were under the British, we were under the British and the Dutch. They were taken to a foreign land, we were oppressed in our own land, you know. But their message, because they were talking the same thing, the injustices. And that's why we became connected with the music and we felt one, you know, with the music.
Over 10 years of tough times, music has kept Tidal Waves strong. With over 1,000 people dying every day from HIV and AIDS, South Africa has one of the highest rates of infection in the world. And sadly, it's claimed 2 of the band's members.
It's really hurting. You know, it's a sad story. When you are frustrated, you want to escape to drugs. You want to escape to making love, to be loved, to be appreciated. You know, and at the same time, there is a trap, there is a thin line between life and death. This thing of trying to make yourself feel better is killing you guys. It's taking your life, your brother, your neighbors, you know, people that you grow up with, your friends, you know, your players.
Tidal Waves have pushed through adversity and found success across the globe. But for them, it's New Zealand that holds the fondest memories.
And we flew, went to New Zealand, and it was for the first time to fly out of the country. But for us, it was a very, very great thing, you know, because the welcome that we received, you know, the Kiwis and the Iwis, I mean, they're so amazing, you know.
The way people love themselves, the Maori, the way they interact with white people there, they don't feel small in front of their friends, you know. And that thing to me was like an eye-opener, you know, that you can be who you are and still respecting other people and them respecting yourself, no matter the history.
The welcome that they received in Aotearoa touched the band so much that on return to South Africa, they penned their most successful track to date, Kia Ora.
That's why we decided to do a song, you know, because we thought that we need to do something for these people and their island, you know.
And when the sun starts to rise, the beautiful islands of New Zealand, sweetest people I've ever met, I wanna sojourn again.
To the Kiwis,
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Love and respect to the maximum.
After the break, I head to Cape Town for a night of filthy future funk. And I interviewed the most famous 5-year-old in South Africa. For the last few days, I've been travelling around the city of Johannesburg in South Africa, exchanging the sounds of New Zealand for the sounds of this great African nation. But if I really want to have an impact with my music, I need to get down with the kids. My next interview is with a girl that is one of the coolest, hippest kids in South Africa. At only 5 years old and hosting a daily TV show, she certainly holds some weight in this country. No, I'm all nervous, and the place is a mess. I mean, it's not every day you get the opportunity to interview a Sesame Street superstar.
Hey!
Hi, I'm Kimmy.
Cami, I'm Nick.
Hello, Nick.
You know what I say to you? I say, g'day. Come on in. Come on in, Cami. Here we go.
Everybody meet Kami. She's the star of Sesame Street South Africa. She's cute, yellow, and she loves to sing and dance.
This is my home that I love. It's where I'm happy day to day.
Where do you want me to sit?
Just over here, Cami. Here you go. Choice.
What is that?
That's a new word. I'm going to teach you all about that very soon.
Okay.
Kami, when you see something you really like or something really excites you, you go, choice, bro.
Choice, bro.
Yeah, you got it, Kami. You're fantastic.
On the surface, Kami is like any other normal, happy 5-year-old Muppet. She likes to play games, sing songs, and spell words with the letter D. But in reality, Kami is different to other Muppets. You see, Kami has AIDS.
That's right.
Kami and I are the same in some ways, eh?
And we are different in some ways too.
Yeah, Kami has got beautiful golden hair all over her body, and so do I. That's something that's the same about us.
And I am HIV positive, and Musha isn't. And so, that's something that's different about us.
So when you tell your friends that you have AIDS, how do they react?
Well, first they didn't understand what AIDS was because they are younger than me. Like Neno is 3 and Moshe is 4. But they didn't care. They played with me, they hugged me, they even kissed me. We do all sorts of things with my friends. They don't mind that I've got AIDS.
Kami first hit our screens, I think, 2001, 2002. That was a direct result of the tragic situation we find ourselves in South Africa. Just about everyone is in some way either affected or infected by HIV and AIDS, and we need to find a way to address it, you know, from grassroots level, from when children are still very, very small.
Tell you what I'd love to do more than anything, Kami, is play you some New Zealand music and we can dance.
Yeah, but...
Great, Kami, thank you so much. I've had the most fantastic time. Chill, bro.
Ciao, bro.
I'm definitely going to give you some New Zealand music so you can take back to Takalani Sesame and give to all your friends. I think Nano's going to be feeling the brunettes. Zikwe, I think he's definitely going to be feeling Cornerstone Roots. And of course, Ma Dimbo will definitely be feeling Dave Dobbin. Now, I've got to give you a present. We've already established that you like New Zealand music now, don't you?
Ciao, bro.
How would you like your very own limited edition, just for Kami, New Zealand music T-shirt?
Oh, just for me?
You'll be the only one in Takalani Sesame with this T-shirt. You'll be the only person in all of South Africa, even all of Africa, nearly all of the world, with this T-shirt. We got it just for you. Why don't you go and get changed, and we'll come back and see how it fits you.
Okay.
George, bro.
South Africa loves Kami. She shows that things aren't always as bad as they seem to be, and she'll be fine. She will be fine. She'll grow. Well, probably not, she's a Muppet, but, you know, Kami will carry on.
How do I look?
Kami, it's been said before, many times, but I'll say it again, you look choice, bro.
Choice, bro.
I've spent the last week in Johannesburg, and by now I've had my fill of the city's intensity. So I'm boarding a flight and heading for one of South Africa's top tourist destinations, Cape Town. It's a city that has a pretty stunning landscape, as well as a pretty stunning music scene. But rather than spend my first day checking out the incredible views, I got myself a little disco nap and I'm heading downtown to a dirty little club for a night with one of South Africa's dirtiest electronic outfits, Sweat X. I've never been to a Sweat X show. What am I in for tonight?
It's gonna be pretty rough, I reckon, yeah. It's
rough as in sandpaper on my arm? Ow!
No, just as a good party. You'll never be too good.
You're so much taller than me. Can you stop showing off?
Sweat X. I don't know who they are.
So you don't even know what you're here for?
No.
His accent's crazy. How's that? Are you made of machinery? First thing about Sweat X, this is our first time experiencing them.
They get your ass shaking. No matter who you are, what music you listen to, they get your ass shaking.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Make you shake your shit, you go. You go shake your shit, you go. You go shake your shit, cough down.
Sweat X began in 2006 with electronic producer Marcus Wormstorm and rapper Spoik Mathambo forming the group with a combined love of jacking beats and lewd lyrics. And with crowds both here and abroad scrambling for a piece of the Sweat X experience, it seems they're onto a winning formula.
We keep it simple, you know, we're just keeping it simple and just fucking banging track after track after track.
It creates a real energy. And it's not really a sex thing, it's just like dancing, fertility, dance, ritual, you know.
We don't want to make you think, huh? We want to make you drink.
We came to make you wet, kids. Go. we make you make sweat kids get low. On that street.
Now, the old hanky-panky makes up for a large part of Sweatex's lyrical content, and while promoting promiscuity may not be the wisest of choices in this country, Sweatex see it differently.
This is South Africa, and we live in a reality where we've got a fucking AIDS pandemic. I don't want to think about that shit a lot of the time. I walk around scared every fucking day. Like having sex is like rolling dice in South Africa. You know, you never know which side the dice is gonna turn. You know, so you could be fucked anyways. I could die today. I want to know that I had fun yesterday.
Sisters and brothers, I had a dream.
Sweatex represent a new generation of South Africans that have come of age post-apartheid. But while the political changes have been massive, there are still plenty of problems that remain.
South Africa's like changing, but it's still changing. You can't say that it's changed. There's no magic wand. So for some people, they're still living the same lives that they lived 20 years ago, and other people have moved on. I mean, I wouldn't be where I was 20 years ago. I wouldn't be able to be in the club tonight, you know what I mean? Literally. And so, boom, things change, but not everything.
After the break, I take some of my own banging beats to the city, and we head to a township park jam to hear Damn Native's hip-hop classic, Behold My Cool Style, reworked by one of Cape Town's top female MCs. I'm in Cape Town, South Africa, on my mission taking New Zealand music to the world and uncovering the world's music along the way. I'm heading to the township of Parkwood, on the outskirts of Cape Town, where I'm looking forward to hearing an early 90s hip-hop classic rewritten by one of the city's top female MCs. It's a cracker of a day. The people are out and having a laugh, and there's only one thing that's lacking.
Hello. You know it feels so good when I know you're skanking with me. So good when I know you're skanking. So good when you do. Yes, it feels so good when I know you're rocking with me. So good when I know you're rocking. So good when you do.
So after a good dose of serving up my own beats, I'm keen to get a helping of Cape Town's.
Extra, get your daily voice for only 2 rand and read about...
Hip-hop has always had a strong following in South Africa, and I'm meeting with a female MC that's part of a new wave of artists that are ensuring its longevity. Monisha Scheumann, aka Eavesdrop. She's going to perform her own version of one of the most timeless Kiwi hip-hop tunes. Damn Native's Behold My Cool Style.
Behold my cool style while I greet the funk with my Martin. Incredible, lyrical, and original.
So right now we're in a little area called Parkwood. This is where you were born and raised.
Yes. Parkwood is a small, dominantly coloured township. Very few people live here. It's surrounded by suburbs, so you don't really notice it like until you come close by. It's a place that has lots of beauty, but it's very poverty-stricken. So all the issues that come with that obviously affect the people and the lifestyles that they live. So there's a lot of love-hate here, you know.
For sure.
It's a place of extremes, and once you get to actually just come into the place and communicate with the people, you realize the beauty, even though it looks kind of rough.
Monisha's been doing her bit to change things here in her community through the Project Rap, which at park jams like these raises awareness of social issues and uses the 4 elements of hip-hop as an instrument of change.
The project's name is RAP, Resurrection of African People's Project. No?
I think it's very important for communities to have projects like rap because there's very little happening in the community when it comes to the arts, when it comes to social awareness and all the issues that we tackle. So it's just a way for people to become more familiar with having people perform to them. It's just about educating an audience as well. When you add music to things, it brightens it up. You automatically open people's minds, and it's just the frequencies of having sound. It's soothing. I can't explain it.
Through the changing times and challenges Black South Africa has faced, hip-hop's always provided a voice for the struggle, and it's still relevant in this post-apartheid era.
South African hip-hop has changed. The context is totally different now because in the 80s, the system of apartheid was still very much alive, so people had something tangible to fight against or for. Whereas now, we're democracy and South Africa's a new country and it's free. On the surface, things have changed, but when you scratch a little bit deeper, you see that everything is still pretty much the same. We still have a reason to fight.
I've given Manisha the beat for one of the most classic Kiwi hip-hop tunes of all time. Damn Natives, Behold My Cool Style.
Behold my cool style while I greet the funk with my Marty. One up rough enough on my bass guitar. My skills allow me break the tension or the tackle like Jonah Lomu on attack. I paid my dues from here to Timbuktu and back. Man.
My mission for her is to put pen to paper and write her own lyrics to this timeless beat.
When I first heard it, well, you told me in the email that it was an old school beat. And when I listened to it, I was like, whoa, okay. This is some stuff that I heard of a long time ago, but for me to hear myself on the track was just unthinkable at the time. And then I was like, okay, but it's gonna challenge me in a way that I've never been challenged before, you know? So when I sat down with the lyrics, I just thought of what I wanted to say, and I was like, behold my cool style, you know, you could work with that concept in so many different ways. It's not just about me pimping or me being whatever, you know, cool can mean anything. And I took those lyrics to the next level. I find it cool that I'm from this continent, that I'm a female, that I do what I do. I come from a background that is what it is, and that I embrace that happily.
She underrated by the worldly spirited aligned to tackle subject matter thoroughly inclined to dismantle belief systems imposed upon me. I'm like 1,000 leaves, spontaneously photosynthesizing through the bark of trees, firmly rooted in my garden of a culture. We worship sun rays with solar panels around my head. I'm empathetic, precognitive to the pen sprays. Telepathy sparked the madness when I was born into the slums of a world with magical inhabitants. But slaves who do not recognize rub the genie's lamp for 3 cheap wishes and pay with their souls in blood, sweat, and tears. When it's too late for Zion, who consult the oracle? The Matrix has glitches, the Matrix has glitches. But I'm ready for whatever the weather to change. And as the clock strikes another hour, I'll account for my name as words, sound, power. So calculate your steps and be strategic in your planning, and write your verses after freestyle sessions are demanding. Alpha and Omega, the frequencies of cool style go beneath the radar.
The incredible, lyrical, and original. Behold my cool style while I greet the funk with my Marty. The incredible, lyrical, and original.
Behold my cool style
while I greet the funk with my Marty. The incredible, lyrical, and original.
Behold my cool style, native daughter calling all shores to order. From the southernmost tip of Africa, continent rich in content, with minerals and chemistry, indelible, home to the beginning, Alpha and Omega. No matter how they trade her, she remains truthful, cradling humanity, though she painstakingly endures first world labor, paying to rebuild world trade centers that exclude her native members. Burning in her soul like embers are the memories she defends with. Behold my cool style
while I greet the funk with my Marty. The incredible, lyrical, and original.
Behold my cool style
while I greet the funk with my Marty.
So calculate your steps and be strategic in your planning, and write your verses after freestyle sessions are demanding. Alpha and Omega, the frequencies of cool style go beneath the radar.
The incredible, lyrical, and original. Behold my cool style while I greet the funk with my Marty. The incredible, lyrical, and original.
After the break, I head back to Johannesburg to a picturesque farm to run off my trip with a performance of Pluto's Dance Stamina by an incredible African percussion group. I've been travelling around the nation of South Africa for the past week, meeting generations of musicians, from voices of the past to those that will shape its future. We've already seen Nathan Haynes' Lady J performed by a young string group in Soweto, and Damn Native's classic Behold My Cool Style given a brilliant township twist. And I'm now headed for my final destination, about 2 hours drive out of Johannesburg to meet a man named Robert Troons, owner of the legendary Mount 2000 farm. And it's here that I'll be hearing a percussion group, Lap, perform their own distinctive version of Pluto's Dance Stamina. There he is. Robert.
Hi, Nick.
Robert, how are you?
Man.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
We finally made it to the farm. Tell us a bit about this place. It's incredible.
This is the African melt farm. We do recordings here, we do editing, we do videos, all kinds of things, but we live here. This is the place where, after many, many years, I found my peace.
Audio's always played an integral role in Robert's life. He spent many of his years as the head of the European speaker company B&W. But the money that B&W made him wasn't enough to keep him satisfied.
Whilst we've been extremely successful at B&W, it has always occurred to me that somehow there's something missing. And I always wanted to give something back, so I wanted to produce music, so the music is being presented to the people.
Mount 2000 started up in 1996, with a mission being to record the wealth of talent in this country. And it all comes together in the studio, here at the farm, which I gotta say, is a lot cooler than your typical stuffy, boring walls and some soundproofing foam studio you normally come across.
This is what I call the studio. I mean, it's not like really the kind of studio that you normally find.
No.
It's a room that we use for the family. It's a room we use for music. We have concerts in here. We do recordings in here. As you can see, it's already set up, a lot of the stuff. There's no time pressure. You gotta be there. There's not a 3,500 rand going down the drain now. Exactly. It's like that. They come here, the musicians, they stay with us. They sleep in the place. They're part of the family. They rehearse in peace. After 2-3 days, they...
So Robert's studio will be the location for the recording of our final New Zealand cover.
1, 2, 2.
So that's going through 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
It's a great spot, and with the calibre of music and artists on his label, I know we're in good hands. So it's only fitting that I hand over a track of equally high calibre. And so, the perfect choice would be Pluto's Dance Stamina.
I could not resist working on this project, simply because of the name Pluto, because Pluto was my nickname when I was a boy. So, okay, fine. The first thing which I heard was like, da-da-da. I thought, okay, let's try the Lap Boys.
Live African Percussion, or LAP, are the brightest young stars on the Melt label. And on receiving the Pluto track, the boys were eager to get cracking on a new arrangement.
They would do what I would have done to that music. Make it very simple. Just get big, fat rhythms into it, lots of percussion, lots of noise.
Percussion is one of the language that we communicate with. It's part of us, like percussion and African people is like God and his disciples.
As well as transforming the rhythm section of the Pluto track, Bafana added his own unique flavour and translated the lyrics for the verses into his own mother tongue, Zulu.
When I translate the lyrics, from English to Zulu, like what I thought was that I must make sure that I don't lose the whole message of the song. This song, Dance Stamina, is so important to the African people because whatever we do, we are so energetic, Even if we dance our traditional dance, you must be active, You can't just look as if you're bored or something. You must be energetic.
And for the final surprise, Robert called in the talents of Mabi Thobenya, who's one of the greatest percussionists in South Africa.
I'm 60. But you know what? On stage, when I'm on stage, I feel young.
So Mabe for us is like a living legend, It's an honor to hang around with him, with the great Mabe,
Mabi's no stranger to collaboration and has played over all styles and all genres, from the festival headlining trance of Juno Reactor to jazz greats like Miles Davis.
Miles Davis was like, hey, I felt like, I'm in heaven, I'm where I wanted to be at. That feeling was like a strong feeling, man, very strong feeling. was not just like, hey, I want to eat chips today, you know? I want to eat chicken today. No. It was like, oh man, from now on I'm gonna do this.
And like Lap, Marby instantly fell in love with the original Kiwi track.
Dance stamina, that one. Dance stamina, dance stamina. And I check, oh, I've got my stamina and I'm playing these drums and I have to press hard. Now I'm gonna put that feeling into this one and then I put that feeling.
And now recorded live at the Mount Farm, Lap featuring Marby Thobenye and their version of Pluto's Dance Stamina.
Dance stamina, the finishing product. Oh man, ooh, I wish, you know, it goes all over the world, you know? So everybody can check that, see that, and see what we're doing. Hey, thanks, man.
That's crazy shit.
Go, get gun and cut, let's well in team for the treasure ship to see. Yo ho, yo ho, yo ho, it's up.
How's it, New Zealand on air? Is it? Making Tracks is brought to you with assistance from our mates at STA Travel.
Thank you.